Rich, I'm excited to be here with you today and all of our friends out in the channel. So thank you for joining us. My name is Megan Acciavatti. I am the Regional Vice President of Solutions for the East Coast. And Rich, who are you?
I
Our
am
token
Rich
leprechaun?
O'Boyle. What's that?
Our token leprechaun?
I'll be that today. I did
All
hear,
right.
though, we may have a special guest. I don't know, but I am Rich O'Boyle. I am VP of Sales for the Western half of the U.S. for ACDI. So thank you for joining us today.
Excellent. The East Coast is Gold Coast. What are we doing today,
is.
Rich?
Well, I think it was appropriate for most of our partners to kind of understand where ACDI is focused this year and moving forward and some of the new tools and capabilities we have. And for some of our partners, this might be the first time you're going to get a full exposure to our organization. So we want to talk about who we are. After that, we thought it'd be helpful to highlight some of the conversations we're having with our resellers and your customers. We want to make sure that we're staying on point with some of the topics that are winning today. And I guess we're going to talk a little bit about value today, Meg, and then partnering for success.
It is all new ways to win. So
new ways to win, right? Partnering for success is also part of that process. So as an organization, we have a lot to offer, and we want to make sure that our resellers understand those capabilities and understand we're here to support everything we're doing. So without further ado, Meg, does that sound like a decent agenda?
sounds like I have no choice.
All right,
But
no
absolutely,
choice.
it looks like a great agenda.
I'm going to start this off with good luck to you, Meg. Good luck to you.
So the plan is to deliver some golden nuggets today to you and just to give you some background about who ACDI is. A lot of you may not know, but we've been around since 1994 under the leadership of Josh Lane. Now, the 90s, great decade. Wouldn't you agree, Rich?
Wonderful. I graduated high school then. Great movies, great music. That's what came out of the 90s.
5 out of 10 time, as well as ACDI. So
yes,
excellent decade. Couldn't be better. And we really cut our teeth on hardware, just like a lot of our partners that are joining us today throughout the country. And what was that hardware? It was coin ops. Guess what? We still sell them. So if you do have a coin op opportunity, we are happy to support you. But we have also evolved into other solutions. So ACDI being at the middle here, we also offer other hardware solutions. If we're looking at this beautiful deck here, we have EV charging stations with energy services. We have our ideas in Elitech for our card readers. We have our coin ops down there, but we've also evolved into a solutions company. And we're going to be talking about value around solutions a lot today and everything we encompass here at ACDI. So we have K-Packs, we have Intuitive, we have ScanShare, and we also have our flagship product, PaperCut. I saw in the chat some excitement. Someone won a PaperCut deal recently. Let's celebrate that. That sounds like gold to me. So congratulations to you. And
congratulations, Dan.
Yeah. We look forward to doing more deals, and you will absolutely receive more nuggets from this webinar today. But Rich, what really sets ACDI apart?
Well, Meg, we do have the pleasure and privilege to be able to work with a lot of great resellers in different industries and different go-to-market strategies. And we talk a lot about vendors and what vendors do and don't do. And I think as ACDI, we have about 4 things that really set us apart. I mean, there's probably more than that, to be honest. We're very unique animals, somewhat like a leprechaun or a unicorn. But one of those 4 tenets that I think is the strongest for us is actually our people and culture. So we work very hard to be supportive of each other and our resellers. Some people would say we are extended family to a lot of them. And we love that. We love that closeness. We love to be able to integrate you into what we're doing. So it's one bigger company. You don't know where one begins, one ends. What's that, Meg?
If I'm not mistaken, the Irish are all about family and people.
We are.
So it all works together.
It does. And when you do that, you build a strong partnership. And it truly is a partnership, in my opinion. We don't win if you don't win. We also are here for the ups and downs of what this industry will do for us. And we're excited to be able to bring you into the fold and truly be transparent, beyond just that quote, that order. We're a little bit deeper in a lot of our resellers organizations, constantly looking for strengthen those bonds, get a little deeper, and supports the cornerstone of that message, right? So it's not just, hey, I got a technical support call. It's also our sales organization, Meg. I mean, we're out there talking to sales teams and helping them get better, understand vertical markets, understand talk tracks, helping deals come across the table, helping their customers understand that. And pre and post sales. And, we'll wrap a bow on it with training, because if you don't know what you're doing well, you're not going to be successful. And that is technical. And that is also sales. And we do that, I believe, very well from the feedback we get. And once again, we walk in the same steps you do. So we try to make sure that your teams are prepared for both of that conversation, the pre and the post. So, I think that, Meg, sets us apart from a lot of vendors. It's beyond the quote, it's beyond the transaction. But, we have the privilege as an organization, again, to be PaperCut's largest ASC in the world.
I didn't think you said loud enough. What are we?
Okay. We are PaperCut's largest ASC in the world.
That's a lot of luck and a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I mean, we're working hard every day for our vendor partners, our products, and PaperCut definitely is our fundamental product in our portfolio. We've grown together over the years, but I think the benefit of that and the strength of that is that we're able to look at the global landscape. We're able to look outside of your markets. We're able to look around the country. We're able to catch up to relevant technology trends really quick, share experiences across the board. So it's not just you and your team trying to get that information from the areas you support, but it's also, us coming in to complement or to solidify that. And because of that, our other solution sets are also growing in these conversations, because we realize you need to expand. You need more. Our resellers need more to talk about. They need more support in different areas. So that's where that catalog that Meg showed earlier comes into play. So Meg, with that, we tend to, people sometimes talk about education a lot with PaperCut, and that's definitely a very strong vertical. But earlier you were talking about some of our colleges looking at EV charges from our catalog, right? Yeah.
I go to the K through 12 schools. I go to colleges, universities, you name it. They have EV charging spots now. And I also try to ask them if they have initiatives for those, and they sure do. So it's worth asking.
Yeah, absolutely. And so wherever you're at with your sales team, if it's important for them to call, if they think it's a great partner or a customer to work with, we have something to talk about. It doesn't always have to be print management. It can be other solutions in the catalog, but anywhere you are with your sales teams, we are as well. So it's much more expansive than just, a couple verticals here and there. We can definitely supply solutions for everything across the board. And, with making that message, one of the reasons why it's successful.
Technology flexibility, not actual. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I think ACDI is very flexible. I think, we're nimble. We are. But I also think the ability for our solutions to transcend the OEM platform, the OS, Windows, Mac, Linux, the technology, iPads, iOS, Androids. We really have solutions that go in any situation. And, as you come to your 5-year mark or your 3-year mark and you're looking for renewal and maybe you change hardware sets, we're still a very viable option for your customers. So it doesn't lead to a lot of changing of what they've grown to love. It just means you can continuously complement and keep that customer underneath your umbrella for a long time because of the solutions you've put in place. So with that, all right, this is
some money too.
So this is a St. Patrick's Day webinar, and we figured you have to get some gold if you're in that St. Patrick's Day webinar. So we did a couple questions. We got about 3, right, Meg?
Yes. So housekeeping. As much as we would love a name such as Sassy Shamrock, Lucky Leprechaun, whatever it might be, please use real names. So take out your phone, go ahead, scan that QR code, put in your name, At the end of this, there will have been a total of 3 questions sprinkled throughout the webinar, and the top 3 people will win. And it is calculated off of how many you get right. But if you all get the same number right, it'll be who is fastest. So no pressure. I hear
No
leprechauns are
pressure.
really fast.
And I think
Rich's
we
little
have,
brother. I don't know who that is. I didn't know he had a brother, Rich. Are you stacking the
I've-
deck for your people? You invite
I've
your
got a
family?
I got a couple brothers
outta
from another
here.
mother out there. I know that for a
Get
fact.
out of
But
here.
yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, we've got $100 gift card for first place, a 75 for second, and a 50 for third. And we appreciate you guys having some fun with us today on this Pot of
They're
Gold
still coming
webinar.
in. Coming
Yeah,
in
they're still
hot.
coming in. We're
All right,
looking
I'm gonna
forward.
open this up. If anyone's in the chat and having issues, I'm not really sure how I can help you, but I will do my best to do so.
Meg will help somehow,
You know,
some
I'm on
way.
the support side. I'm on the hype woman side here today.
We've got marketing got our back in the background
this.
here, so absolutely we can make things happen. So
Real names
we're gonna-
coming in. Hi, Scott. All right,
Yeah.
Eric, look at this. Kathy.
All right.
Oh, tons of people we know.
All right. So I'm gonna have to call the ball here in a second. We could do. I think there's quite a bit of people on this webinar, which we really do appreciate. So
I know there's
we're gonna
but
still coming.
it's
Still coming. Slowing down. All right. It's gonna be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So what are we gonna ask? What year was ACDI founded? Little flashback to the beginning of the webinar. If you remember what Meg was talking about from our organization, starting as a hardware company, still a hardware company today. What year were we founded? And I would do the Jeopardy buzzer tune, but I'm not really good at that. Yeah. I am not the songbird of my generation, Meg. It's not worth me to put the time into
You
that.
do Irish step dancing. You could show us later.
Yeah, that's next Tuesday. Come on now, let's be fair. All right. So 71% got it right.
The 80s were a great year too, or a great decade, I should say. But come on, the 90s at
94
least.
it was. So who came in on this one? All right. Becca's at the top. Dan, D, and Jesse, Lucky, Loken. All right. So
name and some wittiness. I appreciate that, Jesse. I see you.
Yeah. All right. Don't get Meg all off on squirrel trails here. We gotta stay on track, Meg. All right. So Meg, you want to talk to us a little bit about what's happening out there with our resellers and their customers?
I sure do. So Rich, myself, other people here at ACDI are extremely lucky to be out there and listening to our partners, going to events where we hear from panels, hardware partners, OEMs, third-party partners like ourselves, and we really get the competitive landscape, what's going on all the time. And what we're hearing a lot about today is the challenges. We're talking IT and customers are wanting outcomes. And what we're hearing is they're shrinking hardware margins as more customers move to A4 devices. They're more expensive for y'all to service, reduce billable service rates, increase security and compliance pressure. Can't wait to talk about this later. And customers demanding value from the beginning. And really, we're here to help you address this reality. And we want to attach ourselves to you from the first call, because from the first call, if you are delivering value with solutions and less focused on hardware, you are automatically going to increase your margin. The total cost of the solution is no longer a question because you've tagged it from the beginning. And you should have more commission and more money in your pocket to feed your entire family. So solutions really drive tangible business value. Again, our initiative this year, be there from the beginning, not as a value add later on. We want to be the value from the beginning. This will make you more sticky with your customers. You will grow, and also the amount of deals you have will grow as well. And it really goes beyond managing printing. When you start selling solutions, it allows you to start branching out into other solutions and just doing more. So Print management can evolve into scanning, which can evolve into IT, and your help desk picking up on golden nuggets when they're supporting the customers about other value that your organization can bring. And we want to be there with you. We're going to be riding along the rainbow all along the way, and we'll focus up more on that later. But Rich, why now more than ever?
Yeah, why now, Meg? I do like your rainbow references. That's solid for today. I think there's some drivers out there that may have accelerated, may have always been there, and now it's time. But, there's definitely a changing customer landscape as to what they need to operate, what's important. Priorities are shifting and technology is shifting with it. So some of the key conversations we're in quite a bit. Number one, cloud adoption. Back, I don't want to get into the weeds of 5 years ago. I think it is now, or maybe even 6 actually. But that might have accelerated some awareness around the ability to be able to collaborate outside the office. Not only that, but also be able to use technology that you can interface with outside of the actual office. So think about your Microsoft 365s, think about your Google Workspaces, but think about how many other line of business applications now are in the cloud too. You're not installing them on a server in your office. So we have to also meet you there with those types of tools that can support that, as well as a lot of our customers are doing what we call hybrid work, and or multiple offices, maybe moving between offices, maybe moving out into the field with their customers. All of these are in play. But as you start to do that, delivering infrastructure and delivering business processes that support this disconnected, non-domain, roaming workforce with different devices and technology can be challenging. So we see that as a driver. And when they're out there in 2026, paper is not going away. I don't see it. And you'll hear some stats on that later. But
we've been hearing that since the 90s, paper cut is going away.
I would say since the 70s, but I wasn't around when that original statement was made, so I don't want to date myself.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, so at the same time, you need to automate a lot of things that are happening inside your walls. How do I take that paper and put it into the right systems? How do I use data that comes in via email and push it into other systems? How can I capture things with my phones? And rounding out the backside of this, and I won't spend a lot of time on it because we are going to spend some time later, is security and compliance. And, it's not just a nice to have anymore. It is leading a lot of conversations, and Meg will talk a little bit about that in a minute. So, what's important about a solution? What do we hear from our customers over and over again? And I would say if you're not solving a problem, you don't have a solution. If you're not solving a challenge, if you're not delivering something that's easy to use, people won't touch it. People won't adopt it. You might actually have an upset customer for 5 years or longer. You need to be careful of what you're applying is actually going to make it easier to do your job or improve the experience for the customer. The other piece to this is, how do we become more efficient, more productive? You hear AI quite a bit. I think AI is truly there to complement a lot of the workers that are out there today. But how do we bring technology in that's going to make people more productive, more efficient? Does this match our security needs or compliance goals? Do we have to fix something? Do we have to address something? I think of hospitals all the time when we talk about this, but you have FERPA, which is for the education sector. You have financial regulations. You have obviously HIPAA. You have a bunch of things within companies that need to be controlled and logged. And then if you do this right, people often say, well, my margins are eroding, or I can't get the dollars I used to get. And I understand that. And I can't say this is a silver bullet. But what I can say is if you do this right, you do wind up providing some level of cost savings or some sort of savings to your customer, whether it be waste reduction to their environment, because you're now doing things faster. You're doing things better, hopefully. You're fixing things that cost time and money before. And as those are delivered, your customers should find value there and understand that you've actually helped them in other areas beyond just that initial transaction. So
we have a missed opportunity. That should have been a 4-leaf clover, not a 3-leaf.
I know, and I was going to put a shamrock on there before the call. I told Grayson from the marketing team that we were going to do that, and I just didn't get the chance to. So in your minds, that was a 4-leaf clover. Thanks for calling that out, Meg. So
Of course.
we've got it. We got another quiz. We got 56 people in the queue. And this one has not been said yet. So this is anybody's game. This
is the lucky question. You literally just have to be lucky, I think.
You just have to think about it. So we talked about paper a second ago. What percentage of business content still relies on paper? And I believe this stat comes 6, 7. Yeah, this stat I think comes to us from Key Point Intelligence. But this is a pretty eye-opening stat in my opinion. So any person's game here. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, where do we get? Oh,
too many people listen to me.
We shook it up a little bit. There you go. So we've got 47% was the right number. So that means about 50% of the content, business content that your customers need to use on a daily basis, still relies on paper, whether it's for auditing or compliance purposes or whatever. So stay with us for a second. We're going to help. All right. Whoa. Troy's at the top. Kathy, Dan, the copier man. Oh, Flanders. Love it. And there's Jesse bringing in the number 5 spot again. We got to get Jesse. So this
I'm feeling anyone that's 4 and 5 might be a little upset with the 6, 7 reference, leading them in the wrong direction.
Oh, you set them up, didn't you? You did. All right. So Meg, you want to help us with some of these value statements we can make with the teams today?
Oh, we're going down the yellow brick road, rainbow, whatever we want to talk about here. And we're going to loop in a lot of our solutions into security and compliance. So let's buckle in, because protecting documents, devices, and user identities are at the core of every modern technology environment today. On the device side, your device is really the entry to being compliant and secure. We have card readers that add an additional layer of identity assurance. They ensure that authorized users can access the MFP, release print jobs, initiate scans, protect confidential data, all with an audit trail, which makes you compliant with HIPAA, FERPA, GDPR, whatever it might be. Then the next layer of that could be adding on print management software. That's where you can loop in PaperCut. And that security starts from the second an end user hits file and print. It becomes encrypted in transit, and then users authenticate with that card reader, and they're able to release their documents, but only release documents that they have access to. Either they were theirs or they had designated to release them. And no sensitive information is really sitting on a paper tray. And guess what? We can even be secure once a document leaves the paper tray. We can watermark it with the literal name of a person. Rachel Boyle printed this on St. Patty's Day. I wouldn't believe it. But if you have the proof in the pudding on the document, then we can get them. Or it can be dynamic and it could be hidden and not tell us who Rich is for everyone to talk about in the office. But we can bring that securely back to IT to say, hey, who printed this? So we can even be secure and compliant once we leave the document tray. Then we can go ahead and utilize PaperCut to begin identifying scanning workflows. And scanning workflows can be rules-based. We have destination control, audit trails, and ensuring documents go to exactly where they need to go in the environment. And this allows us to always know who is touching what and where everything exists out in the cloud. That is extremely important. And we're going to talk about scanning more in depth later on, because it is certainly a hot topic. Everyone's heard of digital transformation. And then behind the scenes, we also have KPACs, which really can strengthen your security posture in our portfolio of solutions. It centralizes fleet monitoring and device management in a, guess what, secure cloud environment. It reduces the need for on-site access, limit exposures to service ports, ensures firmware can be updated, configured, and device health are managed all from one secure dashboard. So in this modern environment, in this modern, secure, compliant environment that we need to help our customers achieve, we have a solution at any point in the journey that customer is in, and we're here to support you. And then besides compliance, I mentioned that PaperCut can help us with file print. Rich, can you bring us through that?
Meg, you set me up perfectly. So I knew it in you. So when you talk about security and compliance, that's obviously a leading conversation for us today. I think Meg even said it, even if you go 5-6 years ago, that might have been number 3 or 4 on our dance card, but it's definitely come forward much faster. And so is this. Printing from other technology, and in some cases, we can even scan from mobile devices too, but printing from any technology with cloud, as well as hybrid work, and as well as security. So the trifecta, we have topics like supporting ARM processors now, doing more with a different type of processor and a different type of platform. We have concerns around iOS and iPad management. We have concerns around Android. We have Citrix environments with VDI, virtual desktops being delivered to workstations. We have Microsoft going for a driverless world, whether that comes true next year or not. I think we're headed there. So all of these things make it complicated to deliver infrastructure, people out in the field. And PaperCut's got a couple great tools. One is Print Deploy, and the other one is, of course, Print Queue Deployment. Sounds very similar. One's in the cloud, one's on premise. But what we find for a lot of our customers is it relieves that headache of how do I get queues to users? How do I securely send them the right, port to be able to deliver this print job? How do I get somebody who's working in an office through a Citrix session to print to the device that's right next to them, even though their IP address says they're halfway around the country? All of these are amazing advances in technology, but also challenges we solve. So, when we look at our portfolio, multi-device or BYOD is a strong conversation today.
All right. It's been really hard. It's really hard to just sit here and present to this many people. I feel like I should be walking around and all that. So you can see I'm like kind of going out of my chair here a little bit. I'm here to talk about scanning now. And obviously we mentioned 2 scanning solutions so we can really loop them in and out. I like to think of PaperCut as a convenience scan per se, getting a document to a Windows folder directory, getting it into the cloud, and what does that look like? And then we have scan share. Do we need to pull information off of it? Do we need to use some AI for routing? Do we need to get the same document to multiple destinations? So we have a scanning solution that really can help out into a digital transformation journey. Scanning is no longer about simply turning a piece of paper into a PDF. Organizations are looking for structure, secure, and automated workflows so they know exactly where their company information is residing and where it's going to. And we got to keep people accountable, which we're going to talk about as well. But oftentimes, I am hearing that customers are relying on the native functions of the MFPs, which can be a great entry point. But they're often limited. They're manual. People are choosing destinations, typing in email addresses, naming files themselves, and hoping that the document gets to where it needs to go. More times than not, I'm just hearing of people still scanning to email. But it's inconsistent, it's error prone, and it creates gaps in compliance. And when we think about that email aspect, if you don't know where your documents are going and you're not controlling that end destination from an overall company perspective, if someone leaves, that is a massive knowledge loss. Your company information is on documents. It's being printed and it's being scanned. Your customers should know where they are. So with advanced scanning workflows, we're replacing the guesswork out of everything. It's policy driven. It's automatic workflows. Users are authenticating with what? Those card readers again. They're selecting pre-built scan actions, and the system handles the rest. File naming, routing, OCR, compression, delivery to secure environments such as the cloud, or if your end users still are on-prem, we can deliver it to their Windows file directories, or a lot of other third-party integrations that you can see listed here as well. So really a digital transformation journey is creating consistency. It's creating pre-built workflows. No one has to guess where things are going. And it really should lead to higher productivity. I like to think about it as scanning from an MFP is a feature. Scanning from PaperCut or ScanShare is a true workflow. That's how you achieve digital transformation. Rich is going to shortly bring us through reporting, but as scanning becomes more and more part of your end users and your customers, what is interesting, especially for those customers that have started with PaperCut, all of a sudden people started thinking, it's really great, I can scan to the cloud. What's going on there, right? Because technically they're paying for a service that's not owned by them. It's not on-prem infrastructure, right? So we had a challenge and PaperCut addressed it, where we can have a full audit of who, what, when, where, why, and how, where it's going. But also we can implement something called scan archiving. If y'all remember print archiving, if a customer has it turned on, you can see an actual image of what is being printed. You can now do that with scanning. That is a powerful message as organizations are really thinking about where's everything going. They used to worry about it a lot with print, but now with this digital transformation strategy, the same issues happen. And we need to make sure we're compliant, getting back to the compliant, secure, predefined, all those buzzwords, right? Scanning is a really important part of this journey. And then another really interesting thing that's happening out with customers, especially those using the MFP's inherent interfaces, is really around all our modern authentication platforms. We have Azure, we have Google Workspace, you're hearing Okta. Other people will come in that have zero trust frameworks. Who knows? I never thought there would be a competitor, but here we are with so many of them. And these are identity platforms. These are how end users at companies log into just about anything. And guess what? They have to make changes all the time in order to be compliant. So if an identity platform makes a change, guess how quickly a company needs to change a lot of systems to make sure it's working. And what we're hearing is we had a customer with over 300 devices, but we've obviously had smaller sizes as well, that when these identity platforms make a change, sometimes hardware becomes obsolete and can't keep up, or they have to send a technician out to update the firmware of every single machine. That is unexpected time and money you had to spend to go out and simply do a workflow that might just be scanning to email. Oh, by the way, not to any predefined destination. And guess what could have happened if you had a solution like PaperCut or ScanShare? Rich, do you know?
Yeah, you could have updated it remotely through one dashboard.
One dashboard and pushed it out. No need to spend hours updating machines and touching each one. That's PS revenue that you can't get back. So when login updates happen, we need to quickly get that out to the MFP so your printing and scanning can continue to work. It's part of a broader security strategy to make sure our customers are compliant, but are able to do the everyday tasks that are super important for their end users and keeping them up and running. So Rich, we can't forget about reporting overall. So how can we bring people through that journey?
Well, I get what do they say, jacked up, fired up when we talk about logging and reporting and data and all those things. That's right in my wheelhouse.
It's Rich's favorite thing, I tell you. He will.
I mean, believe it or not, this leprechaun likes to mess around with that quite a bit. But what I'll say here is, I have salespeople are obviously going to sell what they're comfortable with. So what we're trying to do today is increase that talk track and comfort to let the customers know that your sales teams know these are going on. These are things that are happening. One more question, one more thing to understand. Don't assume that it's not happening, because it probably is in some places, right? And more. But when you actually bring in a solution, whether you sell IT services or not, it's one of the examples I use quite a bit. Part of that posture is logging and reporting when events happen on the network with workstations and whatever. Why would it be any less important with the copiers, MFDs, printers that are out in the environment? All those endpoints deal with data. I think if you haven't heard that yet in this conversation today, or you don't think that there's data moving in and out of those endpoints, then you got to start to talk about this out loud, because what's happening is people are actually walking up to those devices, taking information off the network, putting the information up in the cloud. And on top of that, how do you actually show your customer that you delivered the value? How do you actually go in and say, no, we drove this change. Now we're doing less of this or more of this or faster or whatever that is. If you don't have reporting involved with that, and we have a couple ways to do it. Obviously, PaperCut can sit on top of a number of our solutions and help with it. But we also have Intuitive, which is visual data, pie graphs and charts and bar graphs and all those. So, it's important to have that as just a measuring stick of value when your sales teams are going in to kind of say, hey, we're doing this for you. And here's the last piece. How are you going to sell the next piece of this puzzle? How are you going to identify the next challenge? Let's not grab at straws here. If there's a pocket of paper in an organization, you're going to find that paper usually has a process tied to it or a system. And that system may need more training. There may be a new system that needs to be in place. There's a lot of things that can happen, but wouldn't you like to walk in and talk to your customers and say, hey, we've identified these areas might need some attention. And now we have a target. We have a place to look, and there's data behind it. And I think that's key to where we are today in IT and in the services we're offering, is being able to show the path, deliver the solution, show the value. And that's where visibility and reporting falls into, which leads us, Meg, ultimately to proactive monitoring and support too. So a different spin on the same ball. You've got tools now. Meg mentioned a couple instances with scanning, but we have tools like KPAX and PaperCut's Multiverse that'll allow you to dive into your customer's environment from your office. They'll allow you to manipulate the web servers on your equipment. They'll allow you to make configuration changes to the solution. And some of those solutions in their cloud, and you can just go right to the solution if you'd like to. But proactive support and monitoring does a lot of things for the organization. Technicians still need to go out and change parts to the equipment and things that are happening, but this gets to the customer's fix much faster when you can do it. If it is just a software thing, if it is just a firmware update, if it is just a configuration change for security posturing, whatever it is, the more proactive monitoring and support you bring to the table adds a lot of value to that conversation. So we have the tools to help you with that. And I think it's important that everybody understands that that's a value. That is a value. It's not just nice to have sometimes. I mean, you probably need it, but your customers need to know you're capable of it, and we can help you with it if you need help. So
absolutely. So that to us?
Yeah, let's go.
All
Let's
right.
talk about ACDI for a minute.
So as you can see, based off of the current landscape, we have a lot of value we can bring to you and your customers. And this year, we want to deliver a lot more value to our partners. And we're looking at that from every angle, from pre-sales to implementation to post-sales. And this is a journey. So we have absolutely, I would say, required every department to elevate themselves this year. And we're really excited as your pre-sales team. So myself and Rich leading the pre-sales efforts to elevate training. We want to do talk training. We want to do call blitzes. We want to do ride-alongs. We want to be there along the journey. We want to be the reason a customer has value with your hardware and going along the whole sales cycle, whether that be a trial with a solutions architect, all these things, right? And then we are going to help you deliver. We hope to make our solutions team so wildly busy that you need to use us more and more. And hey, what a great problem to have. Maybe you'll need to hire more people, but we'll be able to deliver at a higher level with PSD and be more nimble and adaptable to deliver these solutions to our customers. And also that this last piece of support, which you're going to hear about much more this year, we have a new department at ACDI called Customer Success. And it is led by a guy named Sam Adams. He is not the revolutionary beer hero that you're probably thinking of, depending if you're into history or beer. If we're on this webinar, he is a real live human from Georgia. And he probably will wear like nice clothes like these, not revolutionary garb. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. But he's leading our efforts because one of the most powerful things he has said is us pre-sales people think we've won when we've received the PO, and we sure have. We cannot diminish that. But our customers have not won. And he has the tools to make sure our customers that we've worked and we promise to deliver value are receiving that value and they are happy. So we're really excited to support the channel better than ever before through every department here at ACDI. And guess what, Rich?
What?
We've actually had a customer who has enjoyed the elevated experiences of all of our departments. So with that being said, are we phoning a leprechaun to talk about that?
I mean, if you've got a leprechaun in the wings, I'd love to get some gold.
Look at that 90s phone here. Look at that. It's so beautiful. That's really
Nice.
all right. So do we have a leprechaun on the line here?
Oh, it's me gold you be wanting.
Top of the morning to you, leprechaun.
Top of the morning, leprechaun, Jeff.
Can you
Top of
bring
the
us
morning.
through a recent strategic win?
Absolutely. And several months ago, we had a customer reach out through a reseller partner, a national law firm, over 100 locations, 900 attorneys, that being challenging in itself, and almost 600 MFPs. They had a legacy print management system that they were running out of time with and quickly needed to replace a solution. They needed to be able to track copier usage for all of their MFPs and to not essentially just be bleeding money as a result of having these things. And we were able to tee up a demo almost immediately. We had a POC moved right to trial with Luke, one of our pre-sale solutions architects, within just a few days. And through that, started building out a production system. They had an aggressive copier rollout schedule through their reseller partner of almost 40 copiers a day. Moving from the pre-sales team to our post-sale project coordinator and professional services engineering team, we were able to be flexible and nimble in the scheduling of the rollout of that implementation. We also had to build an integration to a Salesforce payment system. And so as we were doing that, naturally we ran into challenges, and we were able to address those almost immediately. We kept both pre-sales and post-sales involved all the way to completion. And now they are working with our support team for any ongoing needs.
So we were fast and nimble, just like a leprechaun protecting its gold, eh? Look at that. I love that story. Thanks for sharing, Jeff. Rich, what were you going to say?
I was going to say T. Thank you, Jeffrey. The gold be flowing today. But I think, Jeff, if I picked up a couple things, this was a all hands on deck experience. The whole team's involved here. So not only our reseller, but our technical teams. We're delivering integrations, adding even more value beyond just the base solution. We're integrating into Salesforce and other systems on the legal side. And we've got a window here that I think was fairly aggressive. If I remember correctly, I think it was what, 30 days, Jeff, from beginning to end on the POC to order.
Who said
Yeah, the sales
solutions
cycle
slow
was-
things down?
Yeah,
No
I
way.
mean, the sales cycle was very fast due to the deprecating existing system.
But I think that's a heavy lift to do in a short amount of time with an active POC with the right people involved. And that's what ACDI brings to our partners. I really do believe that when we work together, we win more often, and you have a lot more resources to move that deal faster. And the experience outside of the team that you already have, which is very experienced as well. Together, we're unstoppable. So
All right,
Jeff,
Mitch, you going to wrap us up here today?
I am going to wrap us up here. Jeff mentioned a little bit about this, and Meg as well. And, we have teams that are pre-sale solution architects that are awesome. A lot of our resellers on here work with them on a daily basis, not just in the deal, maybe for education, for ongoing topics, for some of the content that Meg and I are sharing today. They get deeper into those all the time. But we also have a post-sale team that get project coordinators that move deals and timelines, and people who deliver and install and support too. And the whole thing's seamless end to end. And we have, the ability, as Meg mentioned, to also monitor the health of those customers now with customer success and the tools we've brought in. So we're constantly in the loop to make your customers better and to make you better with your customers. So, we bring sales enablement. Meg's mentioned a little bit of this in the journey, but we are bringing those campaigns, those vertical messages, those topics for you guys to deliver through your HubSpot, through your teams. We have those playbooks. We have those call blitz scripts. We have the resources to help make your organizations better in those conversations.
We're going to bring them to the forefront more than ever before, right?
We are. And we want to make sure that you're aware that we are ready for that, and we are ready on this side. So I think we're pretty competitive in this space as a partner for our resellers, Meg. Definitely consultative. We're both having the discussion at the same time, and it is a discussion. It is never this is the way you have to do it. And we love building that bond through that process. But we are workflow and security centric, as you didn't pick that up. A lot of these tools center in that space. That's not all they do, but a big part of the conversation these days is how we manage workflows and provide better security and logging and reporting. And then obviously an elevated experience for you, for your customers, beginning to end, at the day one when the conversation starts to the ongoing conversation that occurs, hopefully for years to come afterwards. So we've got one last. We said 3 questions, questions, like 3 wishes. We got 3 questions. We've got 60 people in the queue.
Right.
We're gonna let it rip. Okay. In our Leprechaun story, how long did it take to receive the purchase order for 600 machines from the national law firm rollout? This is it might be tricky. I don't know. You may have heard it, you may not have. I don't know. But I'll tell you, when we get the whole team engaged, magic happens. Magic does happen.
What happened to the 6.7? We did 6.2.
6.2.
I have nothing to
I
talk
think
about here.
I think we wore out 6.7 in the beginning, right?
We did.
So we got to give you 6.2 now.
Just like our kids wear it out.
All right. Yes, they do. And hey, 71% of the people caught that. 30 days. That's a pretty big lift on the reseller side and on our side, but together we made it happen. It's ongoing for us as far as support and everything else in the background, but we made it happen in a very short window. So be aware, we're ready.
Did.
We're ready. All right. So I think we have a final scoreboard potentially, or is this
Look
the
at
tally?
that.
This is the tally. All right.
3
So Troy.
people, 3 for 3. Look at that. We got to
Yeah,
play
Troy
threes.
got it. All right. Kathy got it.
All right.
And Dan, the copier man, got 3 for 3. So I think we have our first, second, and third place winners here. I think,
All right.
well, they're all tied. So how does that work then, Meg? Do we go by time?
Well, oh boy. You know what? Everyone gets the same number.
There we go.
Yep, there we
All right.
go. Executive decision done. Thank you
You
for
wanna-
joining.
you wa- Yeah, thank you for joining. And we will get your contact information off the webinar, or feel free to email one of us at ACDI, or we appreciate your time. We know it's valuable, and we
This
hope
is
this is
being
helpful.
recorded, right?
Yeah,
This
being
is being
recorded.
recorded. So feel free to share it with your teams, share some golden nuggets, and let's have a successful year together, delivering more value than ever in 2026. And Kathy, you raised your hand. Do you have a question? You could put it in the chat as people leave. Happy to help you out. Best webinar 2026. I mean, can you believe we're almost 3 full months in?
I
It's
know.
wild. Absolutely wild. Thank you, Jesse, for the compliment. And now we need to deliver another webinar in 2026 and beat this one, Rich.
Oh, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it
I
going.
mean,
We're
there's 4th
customer
of July.
success.
We could just do fireworks. I don't know.
We'll come up with something.
Vincent back for fireworks.
Something clever. Something clever. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And to the winners, we will get some gift cards and swag. Marketing will reach out and get that delivered for you. And again, we're very lucky to have all of you as partners. Thank you for joining. Cheers.